Always the main character. You could be in the middle of a serious conversation, your promotion, your breakup, your near-death experience, and suddenly it's about them. Yeah, nice, sure. But that reminds me of and boom, you are just a side character in their never-ending monologue. Leave. They won't even notice. Zero accountability. If their relationship falls apart, their ex was a total mess. If they get fired, they'll say their boss was scared of losing their job. Mistakes? Never. The blame? Always someone else's problem. And if there's no one to blame, don't worry, they'll invent an enemy. Fake apologies. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have made me react that way. Let me translate this from Narcissist to English. I'm not sorry at all. Let's pretend this is all your fault. Instead of apologizing, they hit you with the classic gaslight and go move. And the worst part? Very often it works. You end up feeling guilty for something they did. Jealous of your success. Tell them you got promoted, and suddenly, oh, I thought they made you the CEO or something. Does this even count as a promotion? Bought a new car? Must be nice, but I prefer a bit more expensive brands. Basically, if they're not winning, they'll make sure your win feels smaller. And whatever you do, don't outshine them. Talks over you. You could be mid-sentence, mid-thought, mid-watching this video, and they'd still cut you off with their own story. Oh my god, that reminds me of this time They don't listen. They just wait for that 1 second when you pause to breathe so they can jump in. It's easy to spot. Lots of nodding and mm-hms. Acts above everyone else. Narcissists often have a god complex, a superiority complex, or both. They genuinely believe they're smarter, better, and more important than everyone else, despite barely holding their own life together. They'll mock you for working a 9-to-5 while living rent-free in their parents' house. Sure, if arrogance pays the bills, then they'd definitely be billionaires. Uses people as tools. You're not a friend. You're a free Uber, therapist, and handyman rolled into one. Need a favor? You're the best. Need something from them? Suddenly, they've erased themselves off the face of the planet. They don't do relationships. They do business transactions. And you're always paying the bill. Never asks about you. Ever had a 45-minute conversation where you realize you haven't said more than yeah and wow the whole time? That's them. Their life, your feelings, background noise. If you went missing, they'd still keep calling your voicemail just to update you on how amazing they are. Exaggerates their achievements. I basically ran the company. No, you were in charge of the coffee machine. They don't just tell you they did something, they make it sound like an historic event. They didn't host a dinner. They threw the most incredible event. People are still talking about it. They didn't make a good deal. They negotiated something so perfect, no one's ever seen anything like it. In reality, a disaster. But they'll repeat it enough times that some people will actually believe it. Never takes advice. You could be a brain surgeon explaining a procedure, and they'd say, actually, I don't think that's how the brain works. Yeah, you're right. Your brain definitely works differently. That part's obvious. Doesn't matter if they have zero knowledge on the topic. If they took advice from someone else, that would mean admitting someone knows more than them. And that, unacceptable. Constant need for praise. They need praise for their survival just like they need oxygen. You think I did a good job, right? Wait, you didn't say anything about my outfit. If they go 10 minutes without admiration, they start falling apart. The title they gave you? Full-time ego booster, zero pay. Always one-upping you. Oh, you got a raise? That's nice. I actually got a way bigger one last year. You tell a story about meeting a celebrity? They had dinner with them. You could survive a plane crash and they'd still say they walked away from 2. Gaslights you constantly. I never said that. No, I'm pretty sure you did. Nope, you're acting crazy. They will rewrite history while looking you straight in the eye. If you start doubting things you know happened, you've just been gaslit by a narcissist who's willing to rewrite reality to always suit their narrative. Talks big, does nothing. Huge things coming soon. Still waiting. They're always about to launch a business, write a book, or start grinding. But somehow, nothing ever happens. They act like a future billionaire, but the closest thing they've gotten to success is tweeting motivational quotes at 3 a.m. Dismisses your feelings. I'm really upset about what you said. Wow, over that? You're too sensitive. Narcissists don't process emotions. They dismiss them. If they have a problem, everyone must care. If you do, you're overreacting. They can't handle others having valid feelings because it takes the spotlight off them. To them, empathy is a one-way street, leading straight to them. Plays the victim in every story. Everything in their life is a personal tragedy caused by someone else. A friend cancels plans? People always betray me. Someone disagrees with them. I can't believe how disrespected and misunderstood I am. Even the smallest inconvenience becomes proof that the world is against them. If they trip on the sidewalk, it's because the city doesn't care about their safety. If they forget something, it's because everyone stresses them out too much. They don't have bad days. They have epic sagas where they're always the poor, misunderstood victim. Backhanded compliments. Wow, I didn't expect you to actually look good today. It's great you got that job, even with your experience. These aren't compliments. They're insults in disguise. Their goal? Make you question yourself while acting like they were just being nice. It's like giving you a high five and slapping you in the face at the same time. Turns people against you. I don't want to cause drama, but... Narcissist will casually mention something negative about you to mutual friends while pretending they're just concerned. They don't argue with you directly. They recruit others to do it for them. Stirring the pot keeps them in control, making sure everyone's too distracted to notice they're the real problem. And if you call them out, wow, I was just trying to help. Before you know it, your whole friend group is divided. Silent treatment as punishment. You didn't bow down to their demands? Boom. Silence. It's not needing space. They know very well what they're doing. They want you to beg for their attention, replay every conversation. Wonder, what did I do wrong? You did nothing. It's just their way of controlling you without lifting a finger. Disrespects boundaries. Boundaries? What's that? Tell them, hey, I need some time to myself, and suddenly they're spamming your notifications. To them, limits aren't limits. They're obstacles to push past. And if you don't stand your ground, they'll walk right over you like a welcome mat. Obsessed with status. They treat you like a status upgrade. If you don't make them look better, you don't matter. Lose your job, they barely recognize you. Get rich? Oh my God, we should catch up. Their loyalty isn't to people, it's to status. The moment your value drops, you disappear from their contact list. Uses guilt to manipulate. After everything I've done for you, they could hand you a single napkin and act like they saved your life. If they want something, expect a guilt trip package. They don't ask, they emotionally blackmail until you cave. And if you refuse, prepare to become the villain. Ignores rules and authority. Rules? Those are for other people. They'll speed through red lights, cut in line, or park in disabled spots. They don't care. And if they get caught, this is so unfair. The system is against me. Somehow, there's always some exemption that applies to them. Lack of empathy. You could be pouring your heart out, and they just hit you with that really sucks. Anyways, guess what Jake told me today? If your pain isn't directly benefiting them, they don't care. To them, you're just background noise anyway. Transactional kindness. They don't do favors. They collect debts. Sent you a song over Bluetooth in 2012? They'll bring it up forever. Remember when I sent you that Call Me Maybe ringtone? Anyway, I need a favor. Their generosity comes with interest rates. And if you say no, well, you don't even want to know. Demeans others to feel superior. Oh, you're wearing that? Interesting choice. Narcissists need to feel above you, and the easiest way? Tearing you down. Your job, your looks, your intelligence, nothing is off limits. They won't attack directly, just little jabs, small doubts, backhanded jokes. Not confidence, just insecurity disguised as arrogance. Goes from charming to cruel in seconds. You're seriously one of the smartest people I know. 5 minutes later, wow, I can't believe you just said that. Do you even think before you speak? Narcissists don't have stable personalities, just performances. As long as you're feeding their ego, they're all smiles. Disagree, challenge them, or stop giving them attention, instant switch. That's one of the many reasons why any kind of relationship with them is never truly balanced. Expects blind loyalty. Narcissists expect 100% devotion, even when they're wrong. Meanwhile, they'll drop you the second you're no longer useful to them. Their version of loyalty, you bow down and do whatever they want. Sees relationships as power plays. Why are you upset? I never said we were exclusive. To a narcissist, relationships aren't about connection, they're about control. Friendships, romance, even family. It's all about who has the upper hand. If they feel like they're losing control, they'll do whatever it takes to be back on top. Plays both sides to stay in control. Narcissists never fully commit to one side because staying neutral keeps them in power. They tell everyone what they want to hear, making each person believe they have their loyalty. Meanwhile, they avoid taking a real stance, so they're never held accountable. If things go south, they can sidestep with whoever benefits them the most, without ever being the villain. Their loyalty isn't to people, it's to their own advantage. Easily offended by criticism. Tell them they got something wrong, and suddenly, you're the problem. Even the softest suggestion, hey, maybe just double check next time, gets met with a full-blown meltdown. Wow, unbelievable. Everyone is saying I did an incredible job, but sure, go ahead and attack me. They can trash talk anyone, no hesitation. But the second you point out a flaw, they act like it's the most unfair thing that's ever happened to them. Instead of fixing the mistake, they'll go on a rant about how they're actually the victim. Constantly plays mind games. Everything okay? If you don't know, then maybe you should think about that. With them, every conversation is a test you didn't know you were taking. One day, they adore you. The next, they're cold and distant, waiting for you to beg for their attention. They don't argue, they manipulate. Keeping you confused keeps them in control. Superficial charm. At first, they're funny, charismatic, even a little impressive. They tell great stories, know exactly what to say, and make you feel like you've just met someone important. But give it time, and you realize it's all surface. There's no depth, there's no substance, just a collection of carefully rehearsed lines and borrowed personalities. They talk big, but the moment you try to have a real conversation, it's empty. Ask them about their values, struggles, or anything personal, and you'll get vague answers or a dramatic story that somehow makes them look like the hero. They don't connect with people, they perform for them. And once the audience stops clapping, they move on. Want to learn about the relationship red flags you should actually watch out for? Watch the video on your screen now. My name's Matt, and I thank you for watching.